Welcome to Maximising Efficiency with Dext. Today I am joined by Amina, who is my part-time video editor, but also one of our account managers here at Dext. So some of you may have known her if she manages your account. But today, Amina, we're going to be talking about supplier rules. So I know supplier rules, when I use them in practice, they were great at having a bit of consistency around the bookkeeping. We didn't have different members of staff choosing, one time choosing travel, another time choosing a mileage code or something different, and having a bit of consistency so that when we come to do any analytical review within our account, everything's posted neatly. All of our supplier rules are there. We don't have to, count on different people's opinion, the tech choosing different things. We set up a rule for all of our suppliers to go to the same categories, and it doesn't just stop at categories, does it? Do you want to tell me a little bit more about supplier rules, what you can default to all of your suppliers within Dext?
Definitely. I speak to quite a few partners when I kind of go through my quarterly business reviews. A lot of the time it's looking at like their supplier rules percentage. So just looking at how we can further automate and some of the easier ways to save time, as opposed to kind of getting overwhelmed with absolutely everything going on and being like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go in and change all these things. So just thinking of it as like little steps that you can take just to save a bit more time, and part of that is on the supplier rules, which I will
Yeah,
go
definitely.
into.
Yeah, it's all about that sort of adding the 1% all over the park and compounding that automation. But yeah, good
Exactly.
stuff.
Now, one of the areas that I tend to go into, obviously, when you click into your clients, you'll have your cost and sales inbox for that client. If I click into one of our accounts, you can see we've got that cost and sales inbox, and of course, you'll have your list of suppliers. So you can click into your supplier rules when you're clicking into an item, and you can then start to set up individual supplier rules from this page. The other way that you can do this kind of across your practice for each individual client is you can click into your suppliers list. And what this will then do is it will pull up the total list of suppliers for that client. And you can then filter from top to bottom to see who are my top suppliers for that client. Do I have supplier rules set up if applicable? Obviously, we've got auto
Yeah,
publish as a rule that you can set up, but that's more dependent on it being the same tax rate, the same category. But categories you can set up for more suppliers.
I mean,
Um,
yeah. So I used to use this quite a lot in practice, and I would make it people sort of accountable for coming in here and put some time in the diary when you're doing like a monthly bookkeeping check or VAT returns to come into here, like Amina said, order them by amount of items, and then be like, right, okay, Jordan French there has got 6 items. He's got no category, and we're not auto publishing for him. So I'd be clicking into there, having a look at the invoices. Does the category ever change? So if it was something like Amazon, where you're buying random things all of the time, you might not want a default category in there. But if it's something that has the same thing, say Jordan French is our IT consultant, we want to put the category into that IT consultancy box. But we also want to have a little look at, is it a clean PDF document that we receive every month? Like Amina said, does the VAT rate ever change? Does the category change? If not, let's turn on auto publish, and let's not waste our time checking something that Dext gets right 100% of the time. I think that's what we need to obviously get across, is that Dext is 99% accurate. It's probably more accurate than a human bookkeeper in some instances. So it's the premium product on the market. We need to make sure that you guys are using it to automate as much of the process as possible. So what can we set up supply rules for? Amina, can we have, if you just click into one of them for me there, one of these suppliers, UK Railways is fine. Because I can
yeah,
obviously we always talk about category there. We've got tax rate that we can do. So effectively, it's irrelevant of what it extracts. It's always going to apply the supplier rule to it. We've also got other costs in there. So if you look at duplicate cost items, which is the first supplier rule,
yeah,
what you can see there is we have a system setting where we detect duplicates for a supplier, we don't detect duplicates for a supplier. We have this review process where the item will go into your inbox, and you can decide whether it's a duplicate or not. But you don't have to follow the system settings for everyone. On a supplier by supplier basis, you can come in and say, we have this window cleaner, and he always uses the same invoice template, never changes the date or the amount, but it's not a duplicate. Like, it's just his bill. He's just really poor at raising those bills. We can turn off duplicates for that supplier. So it's not just about the category or the due date or whatever, we can go one step further. We can put, you know, different supplier dates in there, whether we want it to be picked up as a duplicate or not, and we can really, you know, take it to the next level to make sure that all of our records are super consistent. And, you know, when we're doing the bookkeeping for clients, it's taking on even less time. So if I wanted to take a step out, Amina, like, is there anywhere I can go to have a little look at, you know, as me as an accounting practice, how, you know, how, am I doing well in terms of a supplier rule percentage? Is there anywhere where I can go?
Yep. I mean, the first thing, just based on a lot of the practices that I speak to, I think a lot of practices would be surprised at when you're bringing on a client, it's not necessarily in the process to kind of go through and start setting up those categories. And what I recommend to a lot of practices is you can either start from the supply list when you've kind of coded from top to bottom, just apply it to the top five. So start off by doing that. And you can then start to quantify how much time you're saving. If we say that it takes about 30 seconds to code or apply a category each time, you can then compare that to the number of items you've got sitting in that inbox. So that's the first area that I would recommend. You can go one step further on our advanced plan where you've got access, or where you would have access to practice insights. And practice insights gives you that kind of insight into your supplier rules and the percentage, but across your firm. And I think I'll hand over to Max to talk
Perfect. So
for
yeah,
a bit
so
more.
again, for me, this is just another sort of thing about um, it's great to be reactive, and we're adding those percentages. It's all over the place, but we are busy as accountants, and we need to make sure we are proactive around these sorts of things. So at the bottom here, I've got two, you know, which clients have got the most supplier rules per the amount of documents submitted, and we have supplier rule performance there as well. So how many percentage of suppliers within our client base have got supplier rules set up. So at the moment, we're saying, right, okay, 13.8% of all invoices were set up by, or were affected by supplier rules. In my opinion, that's rookie numbers. We want to be having, you know, 50-60% of all of our that comes in affected by supplier rules, just to have consistency and to speed up the processing time, lower the risk of error within there. So for me, you know, we'll be having a KPI with the team that on average we want a 50% 50% KPI within there to have supply rules set up on all of our clients, and we'll try and work towards that number. So let's give that a 3-month goal. Let's work back from that over the next 2 to 1 month. So don't be afraid of going into supplier insights and using this as a KPI to drive accuracy, to drive you know, compliance and automation, and keep the team a little bit accountable for doing so. So that's supplier rules. Don't just think of it as a category. Think of it, you know, you can set up all sorts of things for supplier rules. It increases consistency, lowers errors, and yeah, thank you very much, Amina, for giving us the time and showing us through some of those features. But we hopefully will catch you all next time on Maximising Efficiency with Dext. Cheers.
Adios, everyone.